Hello, this is Bishop Garland Hunt, and this is the Power of Hope devotional. Welcome back. You know, I was so blessed. Recently, I was at a conference, and one of you was just telling me how much you enjoyed the devotionals. Because sometimes I'll be honest with you, I say, well, has it really impacted anybody? Who's really listening? Who's really there? So if you are listening and you never have noted it, please put a like or make a comment. That helps me to know that you're there. And you don't have to say very much. Just say hello, Bishop, or enjoy your message, or whatever it might be. And I'll try to make sure I can make a comment back. I usually do my own replies. So anyway, and then also for those who don't know, we're located in Peachtree Corners. They call the Father's House right here on Spalding Drive. Listen, I started out talking to you about justice in the last broadcast. And I trust that you're getting these broadcasts and you're listening to them consecutively. But I want to talk to you today about biblical justice. Biblical justice. Last week I mentioned justice in the criminal justice arena. Now I want to talk to you a little bit about biblical justice. Now, biblical justice is a little different than you would think. Justice talks about making sure that everybody is fairly dealt with it. Like Lady Justice, she has the crimes committed and the punishment. It needs to be, the scales of justice need to be fair. Biblical justice actually is when you take up for the care and the cause of widows, orphans, immigrants, and the poor. So justice should not just be for the rich. It should be for the poor. And biblical justice is when we take up the cause of these widows and orphans and immigrants. And today it would naturally be expanded probably to refugees and migrant workers, the homeless, and all that. So you see, as Christians, we have to be care about the lowly. We have to care. Remember, Jesus says, "What you did for the least of these, my brethren, you did also unto me." So he analogizes himself. He identifies himself with the lowly. And what you do to the least of these, my brother. Well, some of these also, he said, were those in prison. He connected with those in prison. So biblical justice is really just a compassion for the poor. It's a compassion for the poor or the powerless or even the fatherless. See? And actually, if we talk about in the black community, man, there's a tremendous absence of the father. You know the statistic that you recognize that almost 75% of babies that are born out of wedlock. 75%. Listen to that. Listen to that. This distinction. This statistic is terrible. 75% of babies born in the black community are born what? To an unwed mother. There's no father. The fatherlessness is an incredible indictment on the black community. So it affects the justice system too, because many times the judge is looking to determine the guilt or innocence of a defendant, and he sees no father there. He sees no support there. And then, of course, the kid may have dreadlocks, he may have tattoos, all these things. All these things impress him to say that whether or not he'll be successful in prison or not. Then you add that together with the public defender. If he doesn't have the money to pay for an attorney, and I'm an attorney, I understand, man, we charge a lot of money. So if he doesn't have the money for an attorney, then he has to have a public defender who has a stack this high of cases. And sometimes they don't look at the case before the morning of the court appearance. And then you have prosecutors that also have stacks of cases, but in their case, they want to win more cases. So if you have a plea bargain, that's somebody that's pleading guilty to a crime, whether they committed it or not. Whether they committed it or not. So you plea bargain. So the public defender talks to the prosecutor. Prosecutor says, hey, we have this amount of evidence. We believe we could convict him. Not even a question of whether or not he did it. Not even a question of truth. This is why justice and righteousness must stand together. Justice and righteousness must stand together in order to elevate the truth. So here you have a public defender comes back and he talks to the perpetrator of the crime or accused. Well, whatever ever happened to innocent to proven guilty? So now, really, it's almost like the defendant is somebody that's already proven guilty. We have the amount of information to prove you guilty, so you need to plead. If we go to court, like you're claiming you didn't do it, if we go to court, then you're going to have to serve 10 to 15 years. If you plead, we'll get you down to 2 or maybe even 3, and with parole. So you see that the negotiation is not by truth. I'm saying to you that criminal justice needs to reform, and I'm an advocate for that. This is not a partisan issue. This is a bipartisan issue. Let's see criminal justice reform. This is Bishop Garland Hunt. This is the Power of Hope Devotional. I'll talk to you next time.